Farmer Dre back at it. Today we're out here in the high tunnels and we're gonna go ahead and pick some more tomatoes. So before we get started there, I'm actually out here in high tunnel number 2. There's a lot of tomatoes getting ripe in here. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys here. I gotta come through and restake these, but just look at the size of these. These plants are not doing as well as I anticipated. So what you guys see here on that row, I planted some celebrity tomatoes, and I just ran out of the red deuce, so I went ahead and planted those. And with the celebrities, they're medium-sized tomatoes, so you get a real nice big bushy plant, and then they go ahead and start putting on some fruit. But in here, it was our first time growing tomatoes, so you know, I didn't really amend the soil with anything, but I just started feeding that high potassium fertilizer. And that's one of the, you know, a slight mistake I did. I should have fed them a triple 20 for about a month so you get that nitrogen levels up, so the plants could get a lot bushier and bigger. And then I should have started off with a high potassium fertilizer. But I just fed them some calcium nitrate. It's gonna help out with the calcium levels inside the tomatoes and the nitrogen, trying to get the plants a lot bigger and bushier than usual. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. These are the red deuce here. They're doing pretty good. I mean, just look at these right here. Some beautiful, nice clusters of tomatoes in there. And we got a perfectly ripe red one on the bottom there. So it's that time of year to pick some beautiful, beautiful tomatoes. And one other reason these tomato plants out here in the center are not doing as well is because early on, whenever I transplanted these, fabric was flopping up and down from the wind, and I didn't want to go ahead and stake them because it was still getting cold, and we had to put the row covers on top of here. So some of those plants are delayed because of the row covers. But overall, you know, I threw in that calcium nitrate, and with fertilizer we use, it's just a 15.5002. So trying to get the plants up and going again. But overall, as you guys can see here, the quality of the tomatoes out of this tunnel, this is why I grow the red deuce. Just beautiful, nice #1 tomatoes. You can't beat them. And pick through these Carolina Golds. But overall, tomato season is up and going on the farm. So let's go ahead and see what the guys are doing in there. So now we got Isaac and Moses. They are out here picking. I have to go help Adrian out. We got to fix our mower. Some of the bearings are done for on that, so we got to repair that. But they're gonna be picking here until they get done. But overall, the tomato size and quality out of this tunnel is doing really well. The botrytis has slowly gone away. We still find a few tomatoes with the botrytis on it, but not too many. But overall, you know, they're just growing, and we just keep fertilizing them, trying to pump out those tomatoes, and you know, the more the better. So we have Isaac out here. He is grading them. We're just putting these boxes here. And one thing I told him to do is to de-stem all the tomatoes, because then the stem, if it pokes another tomato, then it causes it to be a second. Now we don't make money on seconds, bud. Make money off these nice #1s like that right there. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at this one right here. Beautiful tomato. If you want to de-stem this, it's going to poke another tomato. So we like to de-stem all the tomatoes that are picked out of here. So good, good, good stuff. So Isaac had to leave. He is packing peaches with Adrian to go get ready to go to farmer's market, and I out here picking. I just want to show you guys the amount of tomatoes that are on these plants. I mean, it is just so I pick on my niece here and look for the perfectly this one just fell off the plant. I just bumped the plant a little too hard. That's what happens when you're big boy. Anyway, just come out here, try not to drop the tomatoes. I like de-stemming the tomatoes just like that. Just pick them up, de-stem them, put them in the box, and that's it. Not too much to picking tomatoes. And on these Carolina Golds and the Red Deuce, they're pretty firm off the plant, so you were careful with them, but you don't have to be super gentle. But look at those tomatoes on that plant right there, just amazing. Alrighty, so we just got done picking tomatoes. I actually picked about 30 pounds out of the second high tunnel, and Adrian and Isaac already left to a farmer's market. They're going down to Branson, and about 2 o'clock-ish I gotta go to Bolivar. But here is the total tomatoes we picked today. It's quite a bit. There's still a lot of green tomatoes coming on, so we'll see what count those up real quick and tell you guys how many we picked. Alrighty, so these are half bushel boxes, and generally in a half bushel of fruit, and especially in apples, it's about 20 pounds, peaches about 25, but a half bushel of tomatoes is about 30, 31. I always run down to 30, so we're averaging about 30 pounds per box, and there is 27 boxes out here. So 27 times 30 is 810 pounds of tomatoes in one picking, and hopefully on Friday we're gonna go ahead and pick as much or more. And out of this high tunnel, we'll probably be picking for another 5 to 6 weeks heavily. I mean, the plants are still flowering, so that means for another 30 to 40 days they're gonna keep on producing. And then the second high tunnel, we're gonna start picking now. Hopefully another 2 to 3 weeks, we'll probably hit the peak season for that, and continue doing that for the rest of the summer. And then about middle of August, the field tomatoes will start producing. So it's just a super busy time here on the farm. But tomatoes, 800 pounds. I gotta take them to the warehouse, put them on a pallet, and start grading them. Takes a bunch to market, sell quite a bit of them. So it's tiring, but it is what it is. That's part of being a farmer. Like I've mentioned, I've got to go to a farmer's market this afternoon. I'm gonna go ahead and grade about more than half of these, take those to market, and then we'll have some for tomorrow and rest of the week. We like picking twice a week. It gives the tomatoes time to ripen up, and most of the tomatoes that we're picking are about 85 to 90% red. You know, these, they're still nice and firm. The customers can take them home, leave them on the counter for a couple days, and still be, you know, real flavorful. And I know some farmers that pick their tomatoes. I'm gonna try to see to find a few. I mean, whenever we're picking, some fall off the plant, so we pick them anyways. Oh, here's one. Some farmer I talked to, they pick them when they're at this orange pink stage, and this tomato is gonna have decent flavor, but it's not gonna have flavor like the ones that are super red off the vine. And with this, you could pick it, leave it in your warehouse or in the cooler for a couple of days, and then it'll turn completely red, but it's not gonna have the flavor. We like, that's why I said we come through twice a week, pick them, so they could be super red and delicious off the vine. One thing we like to do is we put them on a pallet, and then we have a small cooler inside our warehouse where we keep the tomatoes about 55 degrees. At 55 degrees, the tomatoes cool down slow, and you still have that amazing flavor of a farm fresh tomato. If you store a tomato below 50 degrees, then most of the flavor gets lost whenever it condenses when it comes out of the cooler. So you can leave them in your warehouse. Our warehouse is probably 70 degrees on average, you know, the cold concrete, and then, you know, the doors are always open, so you got a constant breeze going through there. But at 50 degrees, these Red Deuce tomatoes will last for about 2 weeks in your cooler. So that's the advantage of having a cooler, is that if you don't sell them all in one day or a few days, then your tomatoes are still good and firm. The advantage of growing this Red Deuce variety, it's a grower friendly variety, so it's super easy to grow. All you gotta do is fertilize it, irrigate it, and keeps it going, and it stores really well. A lot of the tomatoes you find in your grocery stores, you know, big slashers that come out of Florida, you know, there's a lot of them might be the Red Deuce variety because they just store so well. But the only downfall of those, they start picking them at the breaker stage, and the breaker stage is whenever the tomato just barely starts turning orange on the tip, and it's still, the rest of it's still green, so the flavors haven't developed 100%. Learn the tricks of the trade and just keep it going. So I am very happy with this variety, and it's just gonna continue growing it. So it is Friday morning. We are out here picking tomato. Moses and I are getting really close to being done. I think we have 2 rows and a half to do. And Tuesday, like you guys saw, we picked 810 pounds. We already got 500 pounds picked, and we got a little more left to go. So let's go and see how many pounds of tomatoes we're gonna pick this whole entire week. So just got done picking the tomatoes. This is another 780 pounds, making a total of 1,500 pounds, give or take. Farm fresh tomatoes, actually 1,580 pounds this week of farm fresh tomatoes. Tomato season is here. We picked another 50 pounds out of the second high tunnel this morning, and the rest came out of this first one here. There's a lot of green ones still coming on. I mean, the plants are still loaded with green tomatoes, and surprisingly, they're still flowering. I just actually fed them some calcium nitrate. I'm seeing a little bit of blossom end rot, so I fed them a little more calcium, pumping that through the system, trying to get rid of that. And like I said, most of these tomatoes here, you know, that's the beauty of growing in a high tunnel. About 95% of all tomatoes are nice number ones. We can't afford to be growing any second tomatoes out of here, and that's why we grow the field tomatoes. People who own boxes of canners to, you know, do a bunch of canning and whatever, make sauce and whatever, those come out of the field. But in here, these are all these perfect slicer tomatoes, so you can't beat it. Alrighty, y'all, this is gonna be pretty much it for today. 1,500 pounds this week, not too bad. Getting close to 4th of July. This is when we need it the most. These will probably be gone by early next week, all the tomatoes we have. So this is gonna be pretty much it for today. If you guys haven't already, go in and hit that subscribe button, go in and smash that like button if you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to hit that notification icon so you guys can be notified whenever I do upload a video. I want to say thanks for watching up to this point. You guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time.